Tuesday, February 15th, 2022 meeting of the Oldsmar City Council to order. The first two items on the agenda are the invocation and pledge of allegiance, which will be led by our city attorney, Mr. Tom Trask. Please rise and try to remember to turn off your phones. Thank you.
Our Heavenly Father, we meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize the responsibility to the past and the future, as well as the rights and needs of both the individual and our community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and on our efforts here today. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next item on the agenda is the Citizens Open Forum. We only have a few rules. One, you cannot talk about any public hearing item on the agenda, which is item number 7. We'll give you an opportunity to speak about it at that time. Other than that, we ask that you speak no more than 5 minutes. And when you get up, please state your name and address for the record and make sure you include your city. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and start on this side of the room. Is there anybody who would like to speak under the Citizens Open Forum? Seeing that they're not, I will go to this populated side of the room. I don't know what these two guys did, but would you like to speak?
Yes, I would.
Pat.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Doug Beavis, 359 Bay Arbor Boulevard, but grew up in Beavis, Ohio, so I had to support the Cincinnati Bengals tonight, so they made a valiant effort, so that's all I can say. Excuse me. So I have a couple of things this evening. Oftentimes people think that bullying is something that goes on with young children, and we know some cases that have happened recently. But I think what has happened in the past 24 hours has been adult bullying, adults bullying other adults. I've been personally affected by it several times today, trying to withdraw my endorsement from the Firefighters Union. I was informed of that. So we need to be kinder towards people. I know it's a campaign and we're getting close to the end, but bullying is not what Oldsmar is about, so at any rate. And it hasn't come from the candidates, so I'll tell you that directly. So the other thing I want to say, and pretty excited, last Tuesday, we went to the county commission to be part of the density discussion and vote with the county commission. It was interesting, and these are facts that were stated at the county commission. Commissioner Justice indicated that there were 22 emails in support of the density, and there were 5 people that showed up in support of the density, including myself and the mayor. And we were there both to speak on it and to answer any questions. So we had 22 emails in favor, and we had 5 people there in person to support it. On the flip side of that, there were no emails opposing it, and there was no representatives opposing it in person either. And that was somewhat noted by the commissioner as he indicated that what he had. So I think the dialogue was great. I think the county commission is excited for the downtown. They've all in some way, shape, or form, been through our city and know about our city, and they think that, this is a project that is great for the city and the area. So obviously I mentioned the unit size again at the county commission, and just because the unit count is going up, that doesn't mean that the sizes are going up. It's not a bigger box. The box isn't getting any bigger. I reiterated that there. So if you have the same size box, I don't want to repeat myself, but if you have the same size box and you go from 30 to 65, obviously the units have to get smaller. And I think that was well understood by the county commission, and hence they voted 7-0 to support it. I just think that it's interesting that with so much opposition, and this was probably one of the key points to potentially being heard at the county commission, because if it would have gotten turned down, correct me if I'm wrong, it probably wouldn't have come back to the city for another vote. Is that correct? If it had gotten turned down? I know this isn't a dialogue, but.
Right.
Okay, so at any rate, I just wanted that point to be made into the record this evening, so thank you for your time. Go Bengals.
Go Bengals.
You sneaked in there, young lady.
Is there anybody else with a side roll? Sir?
Hello, Tom Price, 418 Arlington Avenue East. I saw a letter today that I was very disappointed from an anonymous person regarding our upcoming elections. It's for the town that we love. It's a small town. It's a great town. It's the reason I moved to this town. We moved here 12 years ago because of this town. A few things I'm going to address that were on that letter that I'd like to. City council meetings are held every first and third Tuesday of the month. They're wide open, open forum. Anyone can speak, anyone can bring up anything they want, and anybody can listen. And I listen as often as I can. I try to make at least one a month, maybe two. And this is to address topics on the concern they may have. The land in question would be sold to a developer to offset the cost of a parking garage, which essentially we would have to pay for as a citizen, and we can control the development. So we've had meetings to address traffic concerns, density issues, and noise. We need to continue to grow our downtown in a controlled environment. We have to control it. If we sell it, we have no control over it. If we sell it to a developer under our guidelines, as what I understand, and then we get to have say in the matter. Similar projects have been successful in Safety Harbor and Dunedin. And so that's what I want to say about downtown. There were some other things in this letter that I saw today that really upset me. It really threw my whole day sideways. I didn't even work today because of it. We don't need to judge our candidates on personal issues, but how they want to move our city forward, okay? We've all had things in our past, maybe not all, but some. So let's not judge on that. Let's judge on how we're going to go forward with the city of Oldsmar. And we're all in for the forward movement of this city, regardless of what your current position is. Whether you own businesses, you do whatever you do, but we just need to move forward. And I don't think we should judge people on a current position in any way, shape, or form. I think we need to just continue our development of downtown, and I want to do that. And I was disappointed that in the county commission meeting that we didn't have anybody that was opposed to the downtown development show up. I mean, if you're going to be there for your constituents, then you got to take it to the next level. So I don't know. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anybody else on this side of the room? All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the citizens' open forum. The next item on the agenda is the community minute, which will be announced by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
We have a party in the park, family game night, free to attend, Friday, February 25th from 6 to 9 at Ariel's Park. Fun for friends and family. Play well-known games, enjoy live music, and save the flavors of it. Well, there's going to be a food truck rally. Rock, paper, scissors championship, disc golf putting course, mobile video games, family games, hockey shots, scavenger hunt, and more. Inflatable sports games, birdie golf ball, field goal kicking, X throwing, jousting battles, and more. Backyard games, yard pong, cornhole, spike ball, bocce ball, bottle bash, giant chess, giant Yahtzee, giant Connect Four, giant tic-tac-toe. You gotta go. Oldsmarevents.com. Also, Saturday, that next day, free to attend, Saturday, February 26th from 9 to 11 at Mobley Beach Park. It's alive, discovering living shorelines. Explore the shoreline of Mobley Beach and discover all the things that go into an ecosystem and how they work together. Children must be accompanied by an adult. wears comfortable shoes and clothing for outdoor environments, sustainableoldsmar.com. And speaking of things that are alive, we have an election coming up. So
What?
we do, we absolutely do. The mail ballot request deadline is Saturday, March 5th. So if you want a mail ballot, you need to request it by Saturday, March 5th at votepinellas.com, or you can call them at 727-464-8683, 727-464-8683, and there's no early voting at the library. Supervisor of elections couldn't support it, so no early voting. If you got a mail-in ballot, you need to mail it in, turn it in at the poll, or take it to the elections office itself on Starkey. That's all I have.
Very good. We got a lot going on, that's for sure. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of addition of new agenda items. We have one new agenda item. Item number 10. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
Since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, awards and recognition. First item is presentation of dedication plaque to the Bohr family. And I have the honor of doing that. I'm going to ask Mark Braille from the Veterans Advisory Board to come up and join me. Sir? All right, so I'm going to do this. Before I call the boards up here, I want to just share a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the history of Veterans Park, because maybe not everyone knows it, right? And so back in 2004, there used to be 5 acres over there along the shoreline, and it was owned by the Kumars. They had this big, beautiful, long home over there. And so Mayor Beaverland got word that they were planning on selling it. And so he went to Roger Kumar and asked Mr. Kumar not to sell it to a developer, to sell it to the city. And so that started a path of dominoes, if you will. So fast forward, the city actually purchased the property, and the goal was to turn it into an art center. And it was going to be like a fine art center. For those of you who remember the old Kumar house, it was beautiful. It has a long history to it. Unfortunately, it has a long, long time to it. So when we went to go try to renovate it and do what we wanted, it became very clear that that was not a possibility. And so in that became a silver lining. We're at a council meeting. They had a discussion about perhaps, since it was such beautiful waterfront property, they should make it a park. And there at that meeting, Councilmember Don Bohr spoke up and said, I think we need to make it a park to memorialize and honor our veterans. And that was the first step, and many that followed, that turned it into Veterans Park. That was in 2006. And as they say, the rest now is history. Don was a great leader for our city. He was one of those types of leaders who didn't seek the spotlight. He was one, though, who would never hesitate to give it to you straight. He was also one of those who would give it to you gently, but he would do so in a way that he made his point. I don't know. I think for a lot of the things we did back there and back during that time, and, you know, Beaverland was always a very, you know, rambunctious mayor, right? And I always think of Don back in that time as being like the wingman that was always there, you know, and steering. For me personally, I'll tell you, I had the honor, or I was bestowed the honor of, when Councilman Bohr passed, the council decided that I would step in and serve the remainder of his term. You know, it was quite the honor. Don and I had a relationship that was kind of interesting in the fact that he had been a local JC president back at home, and I had been the national president of the USJCs. Not at the same time, But he always remembered that and always looked out for me, and I know he had an impact on a lot of people up here on this council. Sir Aki knows that as well. So there is a bronze dedication plaque that was, I guess, first in 2006 probably, but what year was it that we put the plaque up? 2010, somewhere around there, honoring Councilmember Bohr. And so over time, the plaque has got a little worn, weather has hit it, and so we decided to replace the plaque with something new. And at the January 24th meeting, the advisory board, I think very wisely, had a consensus that they would like to present that to the Bohr family. So accepting the plaque tonight on his behalf is his wife of 47 years. 47, yes, that was the number. And I'm going to do this, and I know that we're passing a plaque on to the family, but I want to spend 1 minute talking about Jane Bohr, okay? Because she doesn't make it to the meetings very often, and I'd like to recognize her. In the early 70s, she was a volunteer at the library. She was a Harbor Palms Homeowners Association treasurer, teacher. She taught synchronized swimming at Harbor Palms Clubhouse. She was involved in soccer, baseball teams. She was an original soccer mom. She assisted in the revitalization of the Oldsmar Chamber of Commerce, and she has been Volunteer of the Year, served on the Board of Appeals and Adjustments for more than 20 years. She was a head nurse of volunteers for building the Friendship Playground. She was one of the early volunteers and one of the founding volunteers at Oldsmar Cares, a member of Community United Methodist Church for 30-plus years. She was a founding treasurer of the Historical Society here in Oldsmar, president of the Women's Club, treasurer of the Women's Club, recipient of Oldsmar Citizen of the Year, and of course, a very proud grandmother. So please welcome with me for the presentation, Ms. Jane Bohr.
I'll get a couple seconds on your person real quick. Not official unless it's on Facebook.
I know, right? That's it.
Say anything?
Just thank you, that's all. That's the easiest thing I'm gonna do, is say thank you so much. Appreciate you, appreciate all you.
Good to see you, too. Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We're gonna make it
Thank you guys for being here.
Don't worry about it.
Do you have any pictures of that old pool in the clubhouse for the Historical
I have
Society?
some of the golf course, but I don't have it.
If you have any, we don't have anything.
I have some.
Thanks.
Thank you. I have the resource. Thanks, man.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for being here. Very special, very special. Okay. Next item on the agenda is our City Council Manager Award for February 2022. And so I'd like to call up our recipient tonight. His name is Kevin Harrington, and he's the president of the Oldsmar Disc Golf Club. Come on up, sir. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Kevin. He is, in my mind, a great example of what happens when a citizen gets involved who's passionate about something we do here in the city, right? Because You know, our staff comes up with a lot of ideas of different recreation programs we can do to engage our citizens. And in our city council, you know, we look for ways to fund those activities, to fund a venue to host them at. But what it really takes to make it successful is someone to come, get involved, and take the bulls by the horn. And our recipient tonight is someone who has absolutely done just that. He's originally from Maine. He came to Florida in 2009 and fell in love with Oldsmar. Not a surprise. He started playing disc golf in 2004. He spent many years competing at local tournaments while following a traveling sales career. Here in Oldsmar, he was here in Oldsmar when we installed the disc golf course at Sheffield, which was 2017, right? Yeah. Because we were at the ribbon cutting, and I'll tell you this little story that you may not know this.
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
So the mayor at that time was Mayor Beavis. And there was a group of us council people were out there, and we cut the ribbon, and of course the mayor throws the very first Frisbee officially ever thrown when it was open. Where do you think it went?
Water.
Right in the water.
Solid, though, solid.
Oh, that's right, you were there. Just thought I'd point that out. Sorry, I digress.
It was a decent throw.
Right in the water. So after a few years playing on the course, he made this decision to get involved, and boy, he got involved in a big way. And he really founded the Oldsmar Disc Golf Club. So let me tell you how much it's transformed in such a short period of time. Now, it's always been a source of pride. We had it to a gold standard at one time. But then, quite frankly, it just wasn't getting used. And so after Kevin got in, he started promoting it on Facebook. Of course, he had already been part of that community who played golf and traveled quite a bit. So now, just to give an example, you have Friday night driving range there. It's like a Topgolf over there. Councilmember Saraki and I were talking about earlier. It used to be nobody over there on Friday. Now it's packed, which is nice. Disparillo 2022. I like that. It looked like it was a lot of fun. Disc Yahtzee, complete with food trucks, speed guns. I didn't quite understand the speed gun part, but I guess it's how fast? Okay. And that cut. So here's another example of when a citizen gets involved and they put their passion forward, that they can turn it around. He's got over 900 followers now on the Facebook page for the golf course over there, the disc course. And people travel as far from an hour away. And it's a growing, exciting sport here in Oldsmar. And so it is my pleasure to recognize you with the Council Manager Award of Recognition presented to Kevin Harrington, February 2022. Congratulations, sir.
One, two, three. One, two, three.
Awkward handshakes.
Yeah, that's awkward. You like to say
Most importantly, I need to thank everybody that's brought me here. First and foremost, my girlfriend Justine, who's got COVID and at home. She has been behind the scenes while all of everybody that has been out there playing. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing it, pretty much. 100%. She supports everything I do, and you gotta have that backbone. All the players, I could not possibly do this if there wasn't players. Really, it would be just kind of silly. Just cutting trees. Without you guys, there would be no club. And the most surprising support that I've gotten was from the city. I've worked in other cities before, but City of Oldsmar has just opened their arms in more ways than I can even tell you. Having worked in other cities in the past, I'm just blown away with the support that you all have provided, even on the little things of a beautiful award. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, somebody texted me the other day and they said, what is going on at Sheffield Park? Well, they have a disc golf course. Now I know what's going, they said there were cars all over the place. I'm like, I have no idea. So
It's amazing.
Very nice, well-deserved.
Well-deserved.
Well-deserved on both accounts. Thank you so much. And yesterday,
1 week from today.
1 week from today,
And well, actually, 1 week from today would have been Dad's. 1 week from yesterday, his mom. So next Monday, 87 years old.
Evans,
Wishing you a
Happy
very
bird.
happy birthday.
that's awesome.
Thank you all
Thank you
very
for
much.
coming tonight. Thank you all.
You know, I have to tell y'all something. That kind of presentation with some of the temperature in town is just perfect to remind us all why we love this town. All right, next item on the agenda is the Community Redevelopment Agency. We have no items under that tonight. We're going right to the consent docket, which will be announced by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Item number 3, authorize the advertisement of 2022-008-ITB roof replacement at Cypress Forest Recreation Center. Item number 4, approve payment to legal counsel for January 2022 legal services. And item number 5, approve minutes of the February 1st, 2022 council meeting.
All right, does anybody wish to pull anything?
No, sir.
All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved?
I have a motion, I have a second. I have a motion and a second, any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, City of Oldsmar, item number 6, approving John Master Markey as an alternate member of the regular member of the Board of Advisors, the Veterans Board of Advisors.
That's close.
It was close. I butchered that going back and forth, but, all right. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
Thank you, John.
Thank you,
your
John, for
service.
stepping up.
Yes.
He is a-
Over and over again, too.
Yeah,
He
he's-
really has.
He's a terrific guy.
Yes,
He's a real
yes.
pleasure to work with, too. All right, Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. City Attorney, item number 7, public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing for the second final reading of Ordinance 2022-02. I'll read that ordinance by title only. Ordinance 2022-02, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, amending Section 70-263 of Chapter 70 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar to revise requirements for dental facilities that remove or replace amalgam fillings and pre-treatment process, and providing for an effective date of this ordinance. That was the second final reading of Ordinance 2022-02 by title only.
Thank you. City Manager, any remarks?
No.
Okay, we don't have a staff presentation or applicant presentation, that's correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anybody who wishes to speak in favor of those? Anyone who wishes to oppose it? Seeing there is no one, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved?
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Sensing you're ready to vote, roll call, please.
Councilmember Graber?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel? Yes. Ordinance 2022-02, amending Section 70-263 of Chapter 70 of the Code of Ordinances to revise requirements for dental facilities that remove or replace amalgam fillings in pretreatment processes is adopted with 4 votes for and 0 against.
Excellent.
That's all I have. Thank
That's
you.
all you got. All right, City Manager, item 8.
Adopt Resolution 2022-03, revising the city's personnel policy and procedure manual. I'll read the resolution by title only. A resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, authorizing the city manager to revise the personnel policies and procedures, removing the eligibility list section, amending promotions, amending leave of absence, amending records and reports, amending conduct of employees, amending participation in employee organizations, and amending code of conduct and disciplinary measures and providing for an effective date. In February and July of 2020, the council has approved prior revisions to the city's personnel policies and procedure manual. This is round 3 and the final review at this time. So since then, the policy review committee that consists of 7 different members from the city have been reviewing and amending the document where appropriate and made additional suggested changes. And after their review on January the 6th, 2022, the policy and procedure revisions were reviewed with the Employee Action Committee members. It's important to note that our Employee Action Committee is a group of 10 employees who represent different departments. So they reviewed all of the changes. And so the next level of review after the Employee Action Committee Areas of the policy and procedure manual were also reviewed by the city's employment and labor attorney, Johnson and Jackson, for compliance with state and federal laws. And the areas included that were reviewed but were not limited to policies relating to the Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA, the drug and alcohol policy, drug and alcohol post-accident testing in compliance with state statute, drug-free workplace, grievance process, military leave, exempt employees, discipline process, and breaks. A chart of all of the revisions is noted on page 46. And I want to, Michelle Kutch, our Human Resources Director, is present to answer any questions, and I wanted to thank her for all of her hard work with this. This has been quite an undertaking.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second,
Motion and second, discussion.
just wonderful job
Great job.
Yeah.
by HR and the whole crew. I didn't realize it was 17 separate employees that throughout various committees, or there was a mixture of employees on each one. Either way, fantastic. I think we were discussing it earlier this week when we were doing the ordinance review stuff. It's like sometimes you just got to read it and they got to update everything. So, but once it's done, it's done. So very good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent work. Thank you to the committees, I should say, who worked on it. And, most importantly, I'm assuming that the city manager is happy with the tools that have been updated and where they are.
Yes, very happy.
You can always tell the difference between public and private. Who gets to review the policy manual? I don't know. Did you have any other thing to add? I'm sorry.
Just one thing. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say, one of the first things that I noticed about this, I think, size 8-point font chart that Michelle put together at the beginning of the agenda item, up at the top, it says round 3. It says policy and procedure updates round 3. And, I remember when Michelle first came on board, and I remember that she was willing to take on this Herculean project, which required a lot of time, a lot of meticulous review, and input from a lot of people, which can be, difficult to navigate sometimes. And I think it speaks volumes that this new procedure book has been reviewed, revised by, like our city manager said, members of our staff, members of the EAC, our labor and employment attorneys. You know me, ordinances, the charter, policies and procedures. I am really excited to see this updated and, redundancies removed, language corrected, and clarity, because I think our employees need that and deserve that, and our department heads need it as well. So thank you very much, and thank you to everybody who participated in the process.
Thank you, Michelle. Clearly, we've had a new city manager for, less than 2 months, and she already fixed all this one time, so. Because I know Al might be watching, I just had to get that in there. All right, sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. He's laughing right now, I guarantee. Anything else?
No.
That's it. All right, City Clerk, item 9.
Item 9, adopt resolution 2022-04, appointing the local canvassing board for the March 15, 2022 Oldsmar municipal election. And as you know, Mayor Seidel and Councilmember Saraki will be replaced with Kelly O'Brien and Ginger Taraszewski as qualified electors. I'll read the resolution by title only. Yes. Resolution 2022-04, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar pursuant to Section 6.06 of the City Charter, appointing members to the canvassing board for the March 15, 2022 municipal election and providing for an effective date hereof.
Perfect. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
I guess
Thank
I'm
you.
vice chair.
Thank you, Kelly and Ginger,
Yes,
for
thank
stepping up. We appreciate it. All right, sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, motion passes. Anything else?
That's all.
All right. City Council, item 9. I didn't mention this earlier because it was on the agenda, but I'm sure everybody noticed we have an empty seat up here tonight. It's just what happened, right? As you all know, the vice mayor is off at Leadership Pinellas. They do their annual trip in the class up to Tallahassee, and this just happened to fall right there, so we didn't have a choice but to miss tonight's meeting. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve his absence.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ascension, you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Council comments. I'm going to start with Councilmember Graber.
Thank you, Mayor. Very excited about receiving the TBRC Resilient Ready grant for RE Olds Park. I know the staff, I just wanted to make sure that they were recognized for going through the application process, being awarded. There was only 3 that we awarded. We got one of them. So I'm excited to see the further details on that. The Oldsmar Cares Gala is coming up February 24th. We know we had the presentation at the previous council meeting as well. Opening of Little League, February 26th at the sports complex. So very excited about that too. Quite the active day on social media today. There may be further discussion about other things, so I just wanted to hone in on one thing and remind everyone that responding to posts about things that we discuss up here on the dais may run afoul of the Sunshine Law. So a personal rule that I have taken on upon myself is to just not respond. And I've said it before in previous council meetings. I've even rattled off my cell phone number at council meetings. My cell phone number's on the website. My email address is on the website. If you need to speak with me about something, I'm easily reachable. So please do. I don't want to get into the specifics as to what was being discussed today. I don't think that's a very good use of resources, at least from my perspective. However, I did want to reiterate that you can go ahead and get a hold of me if you need to. And while I may be reading those things, I'm certainly not going to respond to them. That's all I wanted to say about what had happened today. But with that, Mayor, I'm done. Thank you.
Excellent. Councilmember Saraki.
Thank you, Mayor. 2 things. I want to just say thank you to Jerry Antozzi, the Historical Society. She did a great job in getting ready for Oldsmar and Orbit. And I'm looking forward to meeting Nicole Scott on March 5th at our Olds Park for the opening of that. I love NASA. I love space. And I think this is a wonderful project for our city. And I'm really excited about it. And again, just thank you, Jerry Antozzi, I was just down in the Historical Society and did a wonderful job in your presentation for that Oldsmar and Orbit. And I'm really excited about that. The other thing I want to mention is the Women's Club Super Party, the soup party. The mayor and I had 14 soups that day, and we were full.
We did.
Yeah.
That should be on social media.
I know, a lot, yeah. A lot of the soups were gone. Everything was gone. So for $5, all you could eat soup was really a good thing for the Women's Club. And it was a success. And I just want to say, great job, Women's Club, for your 3rd annual soup party. It was fantastic. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Excellent. Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I on behalf of the Women's Club of Oldsmar, I wanted to thank everyone for their attendance and support. We had 13 soups, dozens of attendees and donations because of the 50-50 raffle as well. Unofficial word was that we raised more than $400. Our treasurer, Jessica Opid, will report back to us at our next meeting. The winner of the sort of bragging rights with the poker chips that you deposit at the favorite soup was Debbie Curry's chicken tortilla soup. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. I think everybody was there. Steve was, Councilmember Graber was there, Councilmember Saraki was there,
Yep.
Mayor Seidel was there, Andrew was not there, but we did have also Ann Nixon, our city clerk, came, and we got some good feedback. A couple of things. We need to have a vegan or vegetarian option next year, which we absolutely will do, and I intend to undertake putting together a cookbook with all of the recipes, some good feedback. So we had a really fantastic event, and I thank the city staff. John was there to help us at the State Street Center set up and take down, and he provided all the tables. It was just really well organized, and with 13 crock pots, you don't want to be messing around with all those surge protectors. It gets crazy. We really needed his help, and I really appreciated it. Also, up here we have in front of us the Mardi Gras Gala tickets. Actually, I had already purchased mine online. They are available at Oldsmar Friends of the Arts website. You can find their website on Facebook. The Mardi Gras Gala is taking place after the council meeting, actually, on March 1st for us, but it starts at 6, goes till 9 behind the library, and they're going to have a costume contest. Amici's catered cuisine will be there. They're going to have a student showcase and performances from Miss Suda's dancers and a live auction. All benefits Oldsmar Friends of the Arts, and as you guys know, they support our local theater programs for our kids, so definitely going to be in attendance at that. So much art. Okay, so at the last Women's Club meeting, we were very pleased to welcome Lisa Schmid, our, what's her official title? I don't want to get it wrong.
Arts coordinator.
Arts coordinator. Okay, so Lisa took the time to show us all of the programs that she's worked on and put together for the city. And she told us a lot about her background and herself, which I had no idea. Now, I think we all know and understand that our city is blessed with incredibly talented employees that have experience well beyond what we even know on a surface level. For example, Lisa Schmid from London, of course, if you've ever heard her beautiful accent, she's worked at the BBC, she's worked at MTV, she's traveled the entire world. Her experience is so vast and covers every type of media and medium and art. It is astounding listening to her talk about different projects and the community outreach that's necessary, the organization that's necessary to put on, for example, the exhibits over at City Hall that we have rotating right now. It's the quilters. It's a lot of work, and she's doing, she's part-time. It seems like she must be full-time considering everything that we have going on. So, submit your puzzle piece online, and vote for your favorite pet, visit the Planet Walk, all of this marketing and work that she has put together. It's part of a vast body of work and part of the extremely deep knowledge that she has. And I understand that soon there might be an announcement regarding the latest public art project and the voting results that were taking place online and for our next project over at the Oldsmar Sports Complex. So thank you to Lisa for coming out to the meeting. And one last thing, I would echo Councilmember Graber's comments regarding social media. If anybody needs to reach me, my email is kgannon@myoldsmar.com. That's kgannon@myoldsmar.com. My cell phone number is 352-870-4528. If you have any questions or want to speak to me, you can also deliver a letter to the office of the city clerk. Stop me at the grocery store. I will not look as put together. I will have my hair in a ponytail and possibly be towing toddlers. But I am always happy to talk to folks. Please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. I'd be happy to give you information myself or direct you to the appropriate members of city staff who can provide all kinds of information. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you to the Bohr family for coming out. That was very touching. And thanks to Kevin Harrington. 900 followers? I did not know that. I knew it had grown exponentially, but I did not know we were 900 followers. That's quite an amazing feat. So thank you for awarding him that. That was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice to have him come out and get recognized, and of course having the Boers out is super. And it's really nice. I haven't seen Jane in a while, so it means a lot. Just a couple things. Frankly, everybody up here has pretty much touched on the upcoming events and the past events, so I'm not going to go through it all over again. But certainly we got galas going on all over the place, which is the galas going on, and the soup stuff was a lot of fun. It was fun. They did a nice job over there. I want to thank Councilmember Graber for judging the second Friday. I neglected to tell him in advance, which I have been known to do. Katie, you're up next.
It was an hour.
So this is my notification.
It was an
okay.
hour in advance. It was okay.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I didn't tell Graber. Okay. Whoops. So anyhow, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And also, Katie, if you are available, I'd like you to do the next one as judge,
I will certainly
please.
check.
If you can't, then we'll move it on.
It
All
would
right.
be my honor. Thank you.
All right, so I wanted to put something on everyone's radar that I think is pretty important. As you all know, I mean, we've been working on cleaning up the bay and projects that are projects that have potential real impact. The vertical oyster garden, we'll know more about that as it proceeds. Is it working? There are parts in the country that have done really, really well in cleaning up their bays with that type of approach. But I wanted to just put something on your radar I don't know how many of you are familiar with Cooper's Bayou, Cooper Bayou Park in particular. So just if you don't know where that's located, it is, if you're coming across Courtney Campbell Bridge, as you head into Clearwater, that body of water there that's kind of surrounded by the park, that's considered the bayou over there. Well, Clearwater now owns it. I think they've owned it since 2016. And so they've been working on a restoration project over there, in part because of the sediment that settles. If you don't know this, I think most of us up here do, but maybe our citizens don't know. Years ago, the city of Oldsmar, along with the city of Safety Harbor, both chipped in and had USF do a study and actually find out officially what was causing the bay to get this muck buildup. And it wasn't as much of a surprise to anyone what the results were. It was ever since they built Courtney Campbell Bridge, and they didn't build it as a bridge, they built it more like a dam. That's where the tidal flow, as they call it, got stopped and trapped. So Clearwater is working on a massive restoration project. Where it sits right now, it's in the second phase of planning. Felicia and I had a conference call with the Tampa Bay Estuary Program, and because they know that we're interested in it. They worked on some stuff with us as it related to the vertical oyster garden, some other things we can do in the future. But they gave us an update on it. An exciting part of the program that they're doing over there, in addition to the bayou, is on the west side of Courtney Campbell. Part of the development plans has 350 feet of tidal flow bridge under Courtney Campbell. So it's not the kind of bridge that you would, be able to go under and boat, right? But it opens it up.
Yeah.
And this would have major impact on the bay out here. I mean, that is essentially, the leading answer, like, okay, what's the perfect fix? Well, if you changed Courtney Campbell and made it a bridge, would be the perfect fit. This isn't quite that. So I had a discussion with Clearwater's mayor, with Frank, talking to him about the project and where they're at, and then a brief just conversation with Joe over in Safety Harbor, the mayor over there. And so collectively, we talked about supporting this collectively, because clearly, as one might guess, a project like this is going to be expensive. And so Clearwater is lead, as they have been. They own the land, on the design plans, right? Which is the first step, as we all know, right? Because you kind of need that to be able to go to the next step, which is to attempt to seek funding for it. And so what I have said, that as that progresses, we would like to have our staff more involved in terms of being updated, so that we as a council potentially could pass resolutions of support, like officially get involved in supporting their efforts. I don't know if there is a vehicle at some point where we can entertain helping with some funding of it. Certainly, we don't have that kind of, my city manager just fainted. She looked at me like, what'd you say? But certainly, I think the real opportunity is, and let's be honest, I mean, Clearwater certainly has a lot of, size to it and citizens, but collectively working on grant money, where we're all rallying behind it. So I just wanted to put that on everyone's radar, so that if it comes up in the future, it's not the first time you've heard about it. I'd encourage you to go online and learn some more. We are going to get a more direct update with Clearwater staff and our staff, so that they can better keep us in the loop, so our staff can be on top of it. So I wanted to bring that up and just mention it. The other items on here, like I said, have been covered. We do not have coffee with the mayor tomorrow, since our meeting will be over shortly. There's not much on the agenda, so having a coffee with the mayor, I was joking earlier, it's not even going to be water with the mayor in the morning. We'll just skip that and come back to it as our agenda kind of goes back up. But listen, I'm going to make a real brief comment about, some of the things going on in the election, not social media so much, just, look, we're a month away from an election right now, and for those of us who've been through this before, this tends to be the time when things kind of heat up, and when you hear about something happening, rest assured, and I've spoke to all the candidates today, Councilmember Siraki and I spoke earlier, when you hear of some of the stuff going on that's not befitting of our city, quite frankly, no, it's not the candidates. It's often where you have folks who are overzealous and they think they're helping and they're not. And so I know that all of us are focused on maintaining the reputation here in Oldsmar, that we play fair, we play nice. We might not agree, but that's okay, and that we're a city first. And so I'll assure you that while the next 30 days, that tension happens, the city is still the city that we all love. And I'm going to leave it at that. All right. Next item on the agenda is approve the tentative agenda for March 1st, 2022 council meeting. Does anybody wish to pull anything from the agenda? No. All right. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Senton, you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Doesn't require a vote. We are done.